Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, just over 1 month and counting to a new day in shipping operations here in the capital. The details are straight ahead. Also ahead, election controversy. The dubious strategy one candidate has asked the Parliamentary Registration Department to look into. And things are not so good at KFC. Also ahead tonight, why the 9 New Providence restaurants were closed today. All those stories and more coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, strained industrial relations between KFC workers and management of the fast food chain have taken a turn for the worse. All 9 KFC locations in New Providence were closed today after staff staged a sit-in, reportedly backed by the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, which represents them. Now KFC Nassau has unilaterally canceled its voluntary recognition of the union. Both sides met with the Minister of Labor this afternoon. Giovanni Stewart reports on what transpired.
If you went to get that piece of chicken from KFC today, you might have noticed that the restaurants are closed. KFC employees are up in arms after Attorneys for Restaurants Bahamas Limited, the parent company of KFC, sent a letter to the president of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, Nicole Martin, stating that it no longer recognizes the union as the bargaining agent for non-managerial KFC employees, and that KFC will now directly engage the staff. The statement, by way of law firm Harry B. Sands, Lebowski and Company, reads that RBL will, quote, no longer meet, consult, or engage with the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union on any matter pertaining to the terms and conditions of RBL's non-management employees. Moreover, the statement continues, RBL will no longer collect union dues or agency shop contributions on behalf of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, end quote. Labor Minister Dion Folks held separate meetings with KFC and union officials at the Ministry of Labor in the Post Office building Monday afternoon. Minister Folks says this is a peculiar circumstance because the union's relationship with KFC was based on voluntary recognition granted by the parent company RBL, and the union was never officially recognized.
This is a first time for me as Minister of Labor, and perhaps only the first time that this has happened in the Bahamas. I am getting advice on the matter as to where to proceed. The hotel union, they have indicated that they intend to apply to me formally as Minister of Labor to recognize the union as the bargain, to confirm the recognition of the union as the bargaining agent, to get a recognition certificate, and I am so inclined to do so if that happens.
Meantime, Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union President Nicole Martin says as far as the union's concerned, it is the sole bargaining agent for KFC employees, and it remains hopeful that Minister Folks will officially confirm that fact.
Our position is that the employer does not have the right to by himself withdraw that recognition. The Act says that if employees don't want us, or there's a second union saying that they have it, then the minister can do some things. It does not speak to the employer having the right to withdraw the recognition. So our position is that we're asking the minister to confirm that hotel union is the bargaining agent for those workers.
Meantime, in a statement issued late Monday afternoon, KFC says it has tried every alternative possible before arriving at this position. It says employees refused to work on Monday, so it was forced to shut down all 9 locations. The franchisee assures the public that it will reopen its stores as soon as possible. Giovanni Stewart, ZNS News.
The government is centralizing the shipping activities in New Providence by relocating the container port to Arawak in just over 1 month's time. Minister of State for Finance Zhivago Lang gave an update on what the new port will mean for decades-old shipping operations downtown.
The congestion in Nassau city center due to the transshipment of goods will soon become a thing of the past. According to State Minister for Finance and MP for Marcos City, Shivargo Lang, as of April 1st of this year, all customs operations downtown will come to a halt.
As of 12:01 a.m. April 1st, 2012, all customs operations in the city of Nassau will be situated at the 25,000 square foot Nassau Container Port Break Bulk Terminal located at Arawak Key. We are removing from the city center all customs suffrage ports used for the purpose of landing foreign goods, freight, cargo, containers, freight equipment, bulk materials, and/or exporting goods.
As for operations at the Betty K, John Alfred, and Seaport docks, Lang said that they too will have to cease operation.
As of 12 a.m. on the 15th May 2012, the Nassau Container Port Break Bulk Terminal and the Gladstone Freight Terminal will be the exclusive transit sheds located on New Providence and within 20 miles of the coastline of New Providence. All rights granted to other existing transit sheds, that is at John Alfred and Union Dock, will be revoked with effect from 11:59 p.m. on May 14, 2012.
As for Clifton Pier and any thoughts about that location being used for the shipment of goods, Lang revealed that it will only be used as a port under these conditions.
To be used solely for the loading and unloading of fuels, petroleum products, asphalt, and cement. 2, 24 hours advance notice will be given to the Customs Department. And 3, transportation of customs officers shall be provided by the importing companies.
Lang said that the government had strengthened the Customs Department with additional staff and resources to bring the department up to par with international standards. These new developments will improve efficiency, security, and revenue collection. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS News.
Amidst opposition allegations that Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet is involved in a conflict of interest scenario, Golden Gate's MP Shane Gibson has questioned Works Minister Nico Grant about a series of road works contracts. The question on the agenda for today in Parliament was addressed by Minister Grant, who said Bahamas Hot Mix has been awarded tens of millions of dollars in contracts over the last 10 years. But he said contrary to claims that Bahamas Hot Mix is awarded the majority of government paving jobs to the exclusion of other private firms, a substantial number were awarded to other private firms between 2007 and 2011.
2007, 10,380,000. In 2008, 114,761. In 2009, 125,942,488. In 2010, 72,147,508. And in 2011, 36,254,931. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy, this gives us a grand total of contracts issued to private contractors other than Bahamas Hot Mix in the amount of $244,839,834.
Now, 22 contracts in all were awarded to Bahamas Hot Mix, and they were tabled by Minister Grant. The opposition has repeatedly accused Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet of conflict of interest, alleging that despite his denials that he benefits from government contracts awarded to certain companies, including Bahamas Hot Mix, Simonet has said that while his children's trust may have small investments in the company, he does not play any role in the competitive process or negotiations of contracts. Well, the House of Assembly has been suspended to March 5th, 2012, but not without protest from members of the official opposition. They held a press conference immediately following this morning's session, claiming that by suspending the House, the government is preventing the tabling of a Public Accounts Committee report on the overrun of costs of the New Providence Road Improvement Project. Party Leader Perry Christie.
We have been coming to Parliament now for the 2 sessions where the committee was ready to report, and clearly the government is trying to preempt that report by moving to suspension of Parliament. We are trying to conform with the best practices in politics and in our democracy by the committee waiting its due time to report. But everyone knows now we are approaching a time when elections are going to be called, and that we do not know when, and therefore there is tremendous concern as to whether or not this committee will be allowed to report.
Committee Chairman Dr. Bernard Nottage said the committee has had 18 meetings, the last of which members from the governing party didn't attend. Nottage said that if the House sessions continue in the fashion that they have, there'll be no time to table the report. He said that if they are not allowed to table the report, he can't promise that the details won't be made public anyway.
It's clear that the members or certain members of the government who have had access to the final draft were not willing to give us an opportunity to complete the process. But we have now completed the process on Friday of last week, so that is the first time that I can say that we have exhausted the process, and time now for the report to be laid.
In other news tonight, is there already underhanded behavior taking place by candidates seeking election victory? Well, ZNS News has learned that one candidate has petitioned the Parliamentary Registration Department claiming that voter planting is taking place. In this report, find out what the department is doing to rule out this and other dubious election tactics that are being alleged. Here's Shanique Miller.
It's only the start of what is commonly known as the silly season, but the Parliamentary Registration Department is taking nothing for granted. Now, Commissioner Errol Bethel has assigned his officers to go door to door in constituencies throughout the country. With 162,000 names on the National Register, their mission is recheck the information they've received.
I had people on the streets on Saturday. As recently as Saturday gone. We have people actually on the streets. And we are planning more of this as we speak. We're planning to put more people on the streets to check information.
And for good reason. There are reports that some are practicing what is called voter planting. Now, while he would not confirm or deny this, Bethel says he and his team are busy investigating all reports coming into the office.
Whenever we get any information coming to us from anybody, we check into information that we receive. Any information that we receive would be investigated and to determine the accuracy or lack thereof of the information. You know, this thing is not a private thing, it is a public thing. And anytime people have concerns, we would expect that they would bring it to our attention. And we ask the public to become involved in this exercise because we would want the public to assist us in creating the best possible register.
But ZNS News has been reliably informed that there was a letter submitted to the Parliamentary Registrar Office notifying them that there was voter planting in at least one of the 38 constituencies. It asked Bethel to not only investigate the matter, but stop it if they found it to be the case. A report surfaced on the internet this weekend alleging that more than 7,000 people improperly registered by not providing a home address. Bethel says that report is baseless as there are checks and balances in the system that rule out this possibility.
The fact is that everybody who appears to register and who applies for registration, they are interviewed and we get information from them, and the information that we receive from them is recorded. Everybody. And if you look at our register, and anybody can inspect the register at any given time because the register is always on display downstairs, okay? And if you inspect our register, you will see that there's nobody on that register who does not have an address.
Bethel says his department is focused on ensuring that this election is as clean as possible. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
More than 60 airline representatives from around the world are in the capital for the first ever Roots of the Americas Aviation Conference. It's being held in an English-speaking country, and it's intended to allow airlines to discuss air service development and how to improve their air services and encourage new business opportunities. LaDon Davis has details.
Making flying much more comfortable and affordable for passengers is what close to 400 delegates representing airline and tourism industries around the world are trying to improve on at this year's Roots of the Americas Aviation Conference. Vice President of Commercials for Roots, Nigel Mays, tells why it's a first for the Caribbean and how the Bahamas was chosen.
We chose the Bahamas because it's a fantastic destination, it's a beautiful place, and it's easily connectable to all of the Americas. So we knew that people could easily get their flights down from North America, they can get to Central America through Copa, and they can easily get up from South America. But also, we know that the Nassau team are used to bringing their stakeholders together. They're used to doing route development. They know how to do air service development, and they had a great support.
So what impact will this three-day aviation conference have on our #1 industry? Director General of Tourism, David Johnson, says it would not only open up new doors for airline services, but boost visitor arrivals as well.
This is a great opportunity for us to position the Bahamas to these carriers and to launch some new initiatives we're doing, such as the airport, the infrastructure from the airport to the resorts, the road, and make a number of new contacts and inroads in our business. The airlines coming here are coming because they attend the conference every year. In particular, some of them do fly here and are getting updates and are pursuing with us how do they build their business to meet our growing demand.
Chief Executive Officer of the Tourism Authority of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Glenn Beach, says the conference is beneficial to his country's tourism and aviation products to showcase his country, plus he gathered vital information to enhance their airport facilities.
We're first time constructing an international airport, which should be completed at the end of 2013. The Roots Conference is something that we've been attending for about 2 years, approximately 2 years now, and it's a very important conference.
Officials of NAD say they are optimistic that this conference will equip all 60 airlines with the tools needed to grow their airline businesses and encourage more airlines to fly to the Bahamas. LaDawn Davis, ZNS News.
Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, it's a big day for sports this Friday. Ahead tonight, who's on the guest list as the new National Stadium opens? That story's after the break.